The news that we have been waiting for all offseason is finally here. That is right, Sixers fans. James Harden will not be traded to the LA Clippers. No trade deal was made, and we are going to see James Harden as a Sixer at least at the beginning of this upcoming season. Now, this news is absolutely shocking. If you have been watching Sixers Digest, both Sean and I have been talking about where James Harden is going to end up. We ultimately decided it's probably the LA Clippers, but this is really a shock to everybody that a trade could not be made. I was expecting perhaps like a 3-team or a 4-team trade deal because there wasn't really a one-to-one trade that made sense between the 76ers and the LA Clippers. However, to just completely say that the trade talks are done and that James Harden is suiting up for training camp is just insane. I was shocked when I read this. Am I excited? Yes, I am. I have talked about before that I am a James Harden defender and that I would love to see him play another year. I don't know if he's going to play a full season with the Sixers, but as of right now, James Harden will be suiting up for the Sixers this upcoming season. Now, I was really interested to see the follow-up tweet where Adrian said that Philly believes that they have a championship team with Harden and, of course, with Embiid and Maxey and everybody else. But that this is going to be a really uncomfortable situation because James Harden made it very, very clear and very, very public that he did not want to be a Sixer. We talked about last video that James Harden and Daryl Morey are not even on speaking terms, so I have no idea what to expect the news coming in for training camp. But definitely make sure that you like this video, subscribe, and ring that notification bell because we will be up to date on all of this upcoming James Harden news and drama that we are sure to get. Now, I have mentioned before that I am a bit of a James Harden fan. I am really excited to see him play. I really want to see if anything changes because of the new coach, Nick Nurse. That's what I really wanted to see. And I was really surprised when James Harden said that he wanted to leave because it seemed like he was the one putting in effort to get Doc Rivers fired. So once he was fired, I thought that he would be happy and would want to play another year. And it's not that he didn't not want to play for the Sixers. It's just that the Sixers couldn't give him the long-term contract that they wanted, or that James Harden wanted to have. So that's really where a lot of the drama and a lot of the reasons of people not talking to each other came in, where all of James Harden's frustration came in because he really just wanted a long-term contract and Philly they just could not keep up our end of possibly a promise that we had made, possibly just talk. Anyways, James Harden's frustrated, and of course all of the memes have come out about Fat Suit Harden, and honestly, I just talked about this the last video where James Harden is looking pretty lean. This was just from last week alone, and I would be genuinely impressed if he put on like a lot of weight. Like, I would just be impressed with his metabolism, that he would be able to like go back and forth that quickly. I don't even know if I'd be that angry. I would just be impressed. But I'm really excited to see, anxious maybe is the better word, to see what James Harden does and says up until the start of the season about this whole mess. I mean, he's definitely made some like really cryptic tweets and like Instagram stories about, wanting to change things up. And we all assumed that was him just wanting to go to the Clippers or literally any other team. So it will be really, really interesting to see like if we get any more cryptic tweets, any of that. But I did want to mention real quickly that So I'm a huge Philadelphia sports fan in general. The only team I don't really follow is the Flyers, but I am a huge Sixers, Eagles, and Phillies fan. And if you don't keep up with the Phillies, I will fill you in real quickly. So Trey Turner of the Philadelphia Phillies, we signed him to an 11-year contract, which is huge, obviously, for literally any sport. But we signed him to an 11-year contract, and his first year he has been playing awful. He's had almost the most errors, I think. I don't know if he's number one, but he had a lot of errors this season. He's not been batting great. His July batting average was absolutely terrible. So Philadelphia took like a different approach, which we booed him at first, and clearly that wasn't working. So then Philadelphia took this approach of, what if we give him a standing ovation? And we did that, and he was really thankful, and then he's been playing great ever since. And I don't know if this newfound Philadelphia positivity is going to extend to James Harden, but I would love it to, because it looks like, whether you like James Harden or not, we are stuck with him for a hot second. Whether, again, I don't know if he's going to play out the whole season. I doubt it. I feel like a mid-season trade is going to come. But for the start of the season, the players have his back. Joel Embiid says he wants to play with him. Patrick Beverley said that coming to Philly, part of his decision to come to Philly was because he was going to be able to play with James Harden. Tyrese Maxey loves him. Paul Reed just came out and said he's one of his favorite vets to play with. I mean, so many players just love him and love playing with him. And he was not the worst offender in like the mess that was the postseason. Like, there were points of the whole Boston series where you could blame pretty much each player for each game. Like, there was truly it was just, I don't know. I don't put full blame on James Harden for the mess that was the Boston series. So, I mean, a lot of people do, unfortunately, especially because James Harden was so wishy-washy. I mean, he had just an absolutely outstanding game without Joel Embiid, and then literally the next game just shooting like less than 20%. So, people are just infuriated right now. And going back to like other Philly sports, the Phillies are doing great right now, especially after this, again, newfound positivity that we all have with Trey Turner, and just we've been playing really well. Football season is about to start. Fans of all of the Philly sports are kind of just like, I've read a lot of people just being like, I'm going to take a step back from the Sixers. I don't have the energy to put into the Sixers. And so it's going to be really interesting to see whether that stays through this upcoming season, if we're just like, if Sixers fans are just going to become less interested in what's going on, especially with this whole James Harden thing. But I definitely want to know everybody's opinion. I've made it very clear that I do want to see James Harden play another year with a new coach. I would love it, but I'm really, really worried about the relationship between Daryl Morey and James Harden. Like, I do not know what's gonna happen. It sounds like a very, very awkward training camp. And I just hope that they can put their differences aside and really go for a championship this year. Like, I think Sixers fans would just love a statement that was like, you know what, screw it. I'm putting my all in, and I'm putting my all in for this team. Like, if James Harden comes out and says that, I think that would do so much for the fans. I mean, there's some fans that he's never going to win over, clearly, but I don't know. I think that I'm here for this, again, newfound positivity of Philadelphia. So let me know what you think. Do you think that James Harden will be welcomed back with open arms from the fans, or are you done with him and you just want to get rid of him? I've seen a lot of comments where people are saying that, oh, I want to get rid of him and I don't even care what we get. And I don't like that approach at all. Philly does not deserve that. This is not Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons was a good person to just let go. Like, I mean, that's how we got James Harden. But, like, For me personally, someone just sitting on the bench doing absolutely nothing is worth absolutely nothing. So getting rid of him for anything did not bother me. Like, I've mentioned this before. We could have given up Ben Simmons for literally nobody, and I probably would have been happy just to not be paying his paycheck anymore. However, with James Harden, I think it's very different. Another thing to note is that James Harden cannot pull a Ben Simmons. In the NBA rulebook, if you are in the last year of your contract, you're not allowed to just sit out and cry and say you want to be traded. Because if you're on your last year of the contract, the team that you are playing for can actually block you from playing anywhere else. So if James Harden decides to pull Ben Simmons and cry and say, I don't want to play, then the Sixers can ultimately just end his NBA career, which is absolutely insane. So James Harden cannot do that. He signed into the player option. We are getting James Harden this upcoming season, and I'm interested to see what happens. Now, there's so many memes about Fat Suit Harden. I already mentioned that he's looking lean. I'd be genuinely impressed if he pulled out the fat suit, but I am also not gonna lie, as much as I am a James Harden defender, I'm expecting some drama, and don't worry, we will cover all of it here on Sixers Digest. So please make sure you like this video. Let us know in the comments what you're thinking. I'm just excited to see the next chapter. I'm really excited to sit down with Sean and talk to him. I know that he does not feel the same way about James Harden that I do. So it will definitely be an interesting few conversations coming up on this channel. So again, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and ring that notification bell so you stay up to date on all things 76ers. I'll see you later, guys. Bye.